thought I had time. 5 seconds. That's all it took. I hesitated, and the guy behind me didn't. Cash hit the counter, box gone, and I'm standing there like an idiot telling myself I'll grab it next week. Next week never showed up. 2 days later, I'm driving shop to shop. Nothing. Same model doesn't even make it to the shelf anymore. One dealer just laughs and says, if you see it, you buy it. Price was already higher than what I had in my hand. And yeah, that part stung more than missing it. That's when it clicked, and not in a good way. I wasn't early. I was already behind, because now it's a pattern. Stuff shows up, gets grabbed before most people even know it exists. Dealers hold them. Guys buy extras like they don't trust supply anymore. So here's the line. If it showed up across shops, moved fast, and the price climbed, it made this list. I walked away twice, didn't get a third chance. I almost sold my PX430. I was tired of people calling it outdated, tired of chasing whatever new micro was getting hyped that month. I had it priced. I kept it mostly out of laziness at first. Then I got with it during one of those long, dirty training half the guns people brought. Started shitting the dust and hunts. The PX4 just killing, no complaints, weird issues showing up. While other guns were being babied between strings, this one stayed in the fight with anything. That made me feel good about it. It didn't. It pissed me off instead. Because it ready to get rid of something, job was busy chasing shit that looked better on paper. Even years later, I still catch my newer options, wondering if I should find one. The PX4 hasn't given me reason to sell it, but it also hasn't come that voice up either. I don't like how long it's taken treating it like a temporary gun. And I don't fully trust. Yeah, I moved off my carry, went with the 4.0C. That's the first thing I heard. A few months ago, I was outside a range, just packing up. Sun going down, people lingering, talking gear like they always do. One guy was swapping holsters and old carry gear out of his truck, like he'd already made up his mind. That line didn't sit right with me. Not because he bought something new, but because he replaced something that already worked. That's not a casual move. Other guy asked him why. He just shrugs. Size makes more sense, and it shoots like a bigger gun. No pitch, no back and forth, just done. That should have been it. But a week later, I asked about the same gun at a shop. Guy behind the counter didn't even check the case. Just goes, if one comes in, it's gone by the weekend. Price wasn't the same either. Little higher than what I'd seen before. That's when it started bothering me. Because now it's not just talk, it's moving. And I'm standing there realizing I haven't even run one yet, and it's already getting harder to find clean in the case. I don't like buying into something late, but this one feels like if you wait, you don't get to decide anymore. I remember looking at a guy at the counter thinking, out of everything in the case, and that's what you're taking? He had the Beretta A1 in his hand. Like it wasn't even a decision. No comparing, no second look, just straight to the register. At the time, it felt cheap. Not just in price, just easy to ignore. Ugly slide, no hype. Sitting there while everything else had sale tags, bundle deals, special stickers begging to move. That's what didn't add up, because the APX A1 didn't have any of that. No discount, no push, same price every time I saw it, while everything around it kept getting marked down. So I asked the guy behind the counter what the deal was. He didn't pitch it, didn't try to sell me, just said, we keep bringing those in. That line stuck. I thought people were buying it because it was cheap. Turns out they were buying it because it made more expensive guns look stupid. And once enough people figure that out, that cheap Beretta doesn't stay cheap. It just stops showing up at that price. You don't notice it while it's happening. You only notice when the cheap one isn't cheap anymore, and the case is already empty. And the next one, you don't get to laugh at it first. The Glock 19 Gen 5 used to own the biggest section. In most cases, same gun, same setup, always there, no matter which shop you walked into. It was the one you could count on without even looking. That space isn't as full anymore. I was in a shop last week and noticed the Gen 5 row had gaps. A couple of the usual spots were empty, and right next to what was left sat new displays, pushing Gen 6 and V-Series models. The older ones weren't gone, but they no longer looked like the default that would always be sitting there. For the first time, I actually felt a small hesitation, like maybe I should have grabbed another one while they were still easy to find. That shift made something obvious. The Gen 5 didn't become harder to get because it suddenly got rare or exciting. It started feeling urgent because the market quietly moved on without asking. The version I had taken for granted suddenly had an expiration date on it. Not official, not stamped on the box, just sitting there in the gaps where the Gen 5 row used to be full. I don't like how easily something this reliable can stop feeling permanent. But if the Gen 5 is already getting harder to find, while most people are still acting like it will always be there, the next ones on this list are going to disappear even faster. I watched a Media SF embarrass a more expensive pistol before anything else changed. Same drill, same distance, no excuses. The other guy had something people usually show off. Clean, expensive, supposed to be better. And the Canic just sat there next to it, like it didn't know it was the cheaper option, and outperformed it anyway. You could feel it shift without anyone saying it. Then somebody asked what it cost. That's when the tone changed. Nobody laughed, nobody brushed it off, because the numbers didn't match what just happened. And I know exactly what that gun does. The trigger, the reset, the way it shoots, it's been running with guns that cost a lot more for a while now. The only reason it stayed easy to grab was because the price hadn't caught up yet. That doesn't hold once people catch on, and it already started. I've seen it lower not long ago. Now it's sitting higher. No explanation, no warning, just different. Same gun, different tag, and the ones that do show up don't hang around the way they used to. That's not random. That's people catching up. And once that gap closes, it doesn't reopen. You don't get that version of it back. You get what's left after everyone else figured it out. The next one doesn't even wait for that moment. It's already getting taken before it hits the case. Recently, I kept seeing the K100 in people's hands before I ever saw it in a case. Not everywhere. Just enough to notice it wasn't random. Range day, small group. Somebody runs one. Week later, different place. Another guy has it. Same gun. Same quiet confidence. Like they already know something you don't. Nobody's explaining it. Nobody's hyping it. They just have it. And that's what started feeling off. Because when you actually go looking for it, it's not there like that. Not lined up in cases, not sitting next to everything else. You don't just walk in and choose one. You either catch it or you don't see it at all. That gap doesn't make sense at first. You're seeing it used, talked about, run hard, but not stocked the same way. And the few times it does show up, it doesn't stick around long enough to feel normal. That's when it stops feeling like a niche gun and starts feeling unpredictable. Some guns get popular because they're everywhere. This one gets dangerous because it isn't. And if you wait until it feels familiar, you're not early anymore. You're just another guy trying to find one that isn't sitting there. And the last one on this list, you won't even get the chance to look for it. At some point, the market stops asking for permission. That already happened with the RXM. While people were still comparing specs, arguing online, waiting to see how it does, buyers in Texas were already moving on it hard. Not hype, not noise, just quiet volume. Enough to push it into one of the best-selling pistols of 2025 across the state. No announcement, no moment you could point to. It just shifted. Same familiar platform people already trust. More modular options, and a price that undercut what it was competing with. That combination doesn't sit around waiting for everyone to agree. It gets picked up by people who don't need convincing. And once that starts, it doesn't level out. It speeds up. Because now you've got two groups colliding. People who already bought in, and people just starting to notice. That gap doesn't stay open long. Stock doesn't stabilize. Pricing doesn't stay friendly. It tightens fast. And the worst part? It still doesn't look urgent from the outside. No empty shelves everywhere. No loud shortage. Just enough movement underneath that by the time it feels obvious, you're already dealing with what's left, not what it was. The market already picked this one. You're just deciding if you're catching up or getting locked out. This wasn't about what's best. That's what people argue about when nothing's at stake. This is about what you don't get time to think about anymore. You either see it and grab it, or you hear about it after it's already gone. So check your area, real shelves, not websites. When something shows up, does it sit or does it get picked off before the weekend? And when it comes back, is the price the same or already moving? That's the shift. It doesn't feel urgent until you're already behind. And by then, you're not choosing. You're settling for whatever's left in the case. So don't tell me what you like. Tell me what you tried to buy and couldn't. I'm Steve. By the time it feels real, it's already over.